So, I just finished watching the Royal Rumble about 4 hours ago or so. Watched a few reviews online and decided to make one of my own. This shit sucked. It's probably the worst Royal Rumble I've ever seen. Ever. And I've been watching wrestling for 13 years. Understanding wrestling for 13 years. Watching it for more than that. And I'm 20. The crowd, thank God for the crowd. That's the only thing besides Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt that made this show worth watching. Not the Royal Rumble match itself, which is disappointing. It's probably the most predictable since ever I can remember. I mean, last year's was pretty predictable too, but this year was pretty bad. The first match in the pre-show, the Rhodes brothers, obviously because they want to go against each other at WrestleMania 30. It was either now or at Elimination Chamber they'd lose the belts. It happens to be now. I mean, it makes sense if you're going to push the Usos to win the belts at Mania or already at Elimination Chamber. New Age Outlaws, friends of Triple H, no surprise. They're back in, probably mid-card, if not main event, where we'd like to see Daniel Bryan, but that won't happen. So, it was a good match. Cody and Goldust, put on a good match, 98% of the time. They got the clean, New Age Outlaws got the clean win, which, for a heel is weird, but it's nice to see every once in a while. They act more like baby faces than heels, but, I mean, they're so over with the crowd, and they were over back in, 99 when they were with DX. A lot of people will say they were the favorite part of DX. I mean, it's decent, I guess you could say, to see them with the titles again. They were overhyping the 14 years in between their title reigns, longest in history. That's because nobody after 14 years of being out gets a chance to run at the title. Even The Rock, it wasn't 14 years for The Rock to have a title, but at least The Rock was in shape. And, Billy Gunn, not the best shape. Road Dogg, I guess you could say, is more in shape than Billy Gunn, but either way, they got the titles. So then we get a Royal Rumble preview that just whatever that we've seen 100 times already. Then the show starts, and we get Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, which the best match of the night by far, if not match of the year. Right up there with CM Punk and Brock Lesnar from SummerSlam. That should have won best of the match, but it's a debate for a different day. The match was outstanding. There were great spots. The crowd, outstanding. Constantly in the match. Yes chants, no chants, Daniel Bryan chants. Every move got a reaction. Every spot got a reaction. One of the best spots of the match was Daniel Bryan diving to the outside and Bray catching him and putting him in the Sister Abigail right into the barrier. That was perfectly done. Caught him in the right spot and everything. And then Bray throws him back in the ring and, hits him with another Sister Abigail, and Daniel Bryan loses clean to Bray Wyatt. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? That's right. You heard me right. What the fuck? Daniel Bryan loses clean to Bray Wyatt. So at that point, I'm thinking, well, maybe Daniel Bryan is going to enter the Royal Rumble, towards the end and surprise everybody, win, because he just lost the first match, and he'll win, make everybody happy because they turned him heel for 3 weeks. And I give Michigan State, the basketball fans, props for having WWE pull the plug on that sooner than later with the yes chants at the game. It was, without that match, people would have been rioting in the streets of Pittsburgh. We'll get into the Royal Rumble and their reactions later, but with Daniel Bryan losing, my first instinct was, alright, he'll be in the Royal Rumble. Alright, on to the next match. We get Brock Lesnar and the Big Show. And going into this match, I was thinking to myself, if Brock Lesnar loses, I am going to be pissed. Now, you can call me, a Brock Lesnar fan, whatever. I like Brock Lesnar. I think it's great how he was successful in UFC. He literally destroyed Frank Mir in their second bout. Just crushed him. And for him to, start in WWE, work his way up, main event WrestleMania, his match with Kurt Angle, by far one of the best matches I've ever seen. And then go to the UFC, win there, succeed there, better than Batista. And then come back, whether it's part-time, full-time, I don't care. I like seeing him. When I went to the WWE Raw in Green Bay, because I'm in Wisconsin, I went there, and that was when he was going around with CM Punk. He got a huge pop when he was in Green Bay, and he's from Minnesota. He's, one of their better guys that get a pop, and him and CM Punk had that great feud, more Punk and Heyman, but Brock was with it. I'm a Brock Lesnar fan. I like what he's done, and I respect him for what he did, and good for him. I think going into this match, how they would have had planned it would have been a longer match. There were rumors that Big Show hurt his hand in a live show, whatever. And you could tell when Brock was laying chair shots in tonight that he was, Big Show was favoring his hand more than his arm. I noticed that, and look back if they put up highlights, which I doubt they will, but you can look back whenever and see that he favors his hand more than his arm. Brock Lesnar attacking him right out of the gate. It was nice to see him take him down, like he wasn't able to take him down, last week on Raw, where Big Show manhandled him. But Brock was able to take him down this time, probably because Big Show wasn't ready for him, whatever. And then Heyman throws a chair in the ring, hits him a bunch of times with the chair. Bell finally rings. And when Big Show hit him with that punch, I was ready to flip my computer and go crazy. Because if he would have pinned him right there, oh my God, I would have been pissed. And I know a lot of people would have been also pissed. When he was staggering, I was like, alright, well, he's not laying flat on his back, so what's going to happen now? I thought Big Show was going to punch him again and it was going to be over. And then Brock lifted him up, lost his balance, and props to Brock Lesnar for holding on, regaining his balance, walking back to the ring with him on his shoulders. Giving him the F5 that, wasn't as crisp as if he was doing it with, a lighter guy. I also, I'm under the impression he was probably trying to protect Big Show's hand, so he didn't have to land, a face bump, which Probably have to use your hands a little bit to help you there. So Big Show landed on his back, got the 3 count, and then probably to write Big Show off, they said, Brock, go destroy him with a chair. So we didn't get any, even protected headshots with the chair. We got a bunch of back shots, a bunch of arm shots, 1 ass shot, which Brock probably did by himself. He broke a chair. He broke the top part of the chair off. Kudos to you for breaking a chair. That's fucking crazy. He broke the first chair he used too. He broke that. And I'm sure he landed some of those shots crisper than Big Show was ready for. But then you get Brock Lesnar walking back and Big Show being helped, but walking on his own to the back. And probably won't see Big Show for a while. Where Brock Lesnar goes from here, I mean, the last couple of weeks he's been spitting that, I'm the next World Heavyweight Champion, who's ever the champion after the Royal Rumble, I'm going to kick your ass. So maybe on Raw we get, him coming out and saying, Batista, I don't give a shit if you did win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to kick your ass if you get in my way, which they ain't going to run that promo. But if they don't do anything with Brock and the title, besides put him in the Elimination Chamber match, there's just that whole storyline goes to shit, and you wasted 3 weeks, and Big Show was pretty much a job for Brock Lesnar. To me, Brock Lesnar should already be the champion. Fuck John Cena. We'll get to that in a second. They don't mention anything about his UFC career at all. They don't even mention before his previous run in WWE. They don't even mention that. He was the undisputed champion before. They don't mention a damn thing about it. Nothing. And it's pathetic. So fuck Triple H, fuck Vince McMahon, fuck the WWE, and fuck John Cena. Big Show will be written off for probably a couple weeks till his hand heals, or they need another big guy to do, wear a fucking diaper for Christ's sakes. Who knows? That's all I gotta say about that. Hopefully Brock Lesnar is the champion. I want to see Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan at 30, at WrestleMania 30. I feel like that'd be the best match, on the card if it would happen, but I doubt it, the way WWE books things. After that match, the crowd pretty much didn't care about any of the other matches. They cared about Daniel Bryan, and that was it. Orton Cena, as I predicted to myself, Randy Orton, the champion, came out first. That doesn't happen. That shouldn't happen. The challenger always comes out first, and then the champion follows. 98% of the time, that's what happens. Unless you're going against John Cena. Then John Cena comes out second. Because they have to pipe in sound, and it probably takes a little bit longer. So Randy Orton comes out, and we're waiting after Randy's done, walking around. Had to wait about 30 seconds for the crowd to die down. Already starting to hear boos. And John Cena's music, for 10 years in a row now, hits. Same music. Hits, and you hear a bunch of boos, a little bit of cheering from the 10-year-olds and the few women. I'm not going to even say men, because if you're a guy and you cheer for Cena, I'm not even going to go there. Cena comes to the ring, and then Lillian Garcia does, the best imitation that WWE can pull off of, what UFC does before a fight. Hailing from West Newbury, Massachusetts, John Cena. But if you watch, Total Divas, which I watched it just troll the shit out of that show because John Cena, so fake. But in that show, Cena lives in Florida, so I don't know where they're getting their information from, but he's still from West Newbury, Massachusetts. And then we get Orton from St. Louis, Missouri. We get a little stare off, and the bell rings, and they go into a headlock, and the crowd just goes nuts. Started chanting Daniel Bryan, and they kept that going for a while. And then we got boring chants during the match. There were, this is awful chants. There were we want divas. We want divas. And no offense to, the great diva wrestlers out there, but the divas division is not that good. My favorite diva is AJ. She knows how to work. She can work. She can go. She knows how to sell better than most girls. I said on Twitter and on other reviews that the time when they were chanting "We want divas" and Orton and Cena were doing some spots or whatever, if AJ would have came out, her music wouldn't even had to hit. If she just came out and skipped around the ring once, the crowd would have popped, went crazy. And all she had to do was skip around and go to the back, and they would have went crazy. Because they didn't give a shit about the match. And who would? We've seen it 18 times on pay-per-view. 18 times. This was the 18th time. Who the fuck cares anymore? I know I don't. I like Randy Orton, but to see him against John Cena 18 times is 18 times too much. Hell, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the Attitude Era didn't even have that many matches, let alone for a title. It's fucking ridiculous. Cena and Orton during the match, Orton was playing to the crowd, lucky for him he was the heel in this, so, it was easier for him to play to the crowd. Cena didn't acknowledge it. Commentary with Vince, telling him what to say from the back. Oh, tell them they're trying to get into Randy's head. That'll make some fans believe it. No, not us smart ones, which most of us are. We're not stupid, especially the ones in Pittsburgh, because they were all chanting for Daniel Bryan. The same thing us internet people have been telling you for the past fucking year. It's pathetic. So Randy Orton hits an attitude adjustment, or a standing fireman's carry, is what most people would call it, on John Cena, which makes John Cena look really bad because Orton had him on his shoulders and was just like pushing him up and down. And it brought a smile to my face just to, look what I can do better than, you can. And then he flips him right off his shoulder, and makes it look way better than Cena does. And then, ironically, John Cena kicks out at 2. I know, you're shocked. John Cena kicked out at 2. To his own move, which knocks so many people out. His AA, the standing fireman's carry, has knocked out so many people, including The Rock. But John Cena can kick out of it at 2. Because it's Super Cena. And Super Cena can do anything except lose clean. So then Randy Orton tries to put the STF on John Cena. Doesn't do much better than John Cena does, with 5 inches between the neck and his arms. And then Randy Orton gets the ropes, and Cena goes for an AA, and we get a ref bump. Oh, no surprise there, because Cena can't lose clean. Got to protect him. And then, of course, Cena gets the STF on Randy. Randy taps. John Cena lets go because he thinks he wins. The ref's still out. He goes over by the ref. Randy goes out, grabs a belt, hits John Cena with it, throws the belt out of the ring. Ref gets up. Randy goes for the cover. I'll give you a guess. Yeah, Cena kicks out at 2. Randy can't believe it. And, well, we all can, because Cena doesn't lose like that. He never loses. So then they go into a couple more things. By this point, the crowd is chanting, the "We want divas, we want refunds." Boring. It would have been nice to hear a "same old shit" chant, or "Cena sucks." You could tell that was a piped-in chant at the beginning of the match. Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. Fuck the piped-in fucking bullshit. Let us fans, chant what we want. It's the only way it's gonna change. Fuck Cena. Fuck Vince McMahon. Fuck Triple H. Fuck the WWE. Fuck Steph. Shit, bring back Shane. It's pretty sad when NXT, your developmental, has a better program than your pay-per-views. Just pathetic. And then we get John Cena hitting a RKO on Randy that looked horrible, because it was John Cena nonetheless, but it looked horrible. Goes for the cover. Randy kicks out at 2, making him look like shit too. And then we get, Cena locking in the STF once again with Randy about to tap, and the lights go out, and we get the Wyatt's little Titantron thing. Lights go out, and they come back on, and the Wyatts are standing on the 3 sides of the ring, and John Cena gets up, tries to attack one of them, goes for the other one, turns around, Randy Orton hits him with an RKO, pins 1, 2, 3. Again, protecting Cena. So there was a ref bump, a tap out that the ref didn't see, a shot with the title, and a distraction by the Wyatts. 4 ways to protect Cena so he didn't lose clean. 4 in one match. How much do you have to protect this guy? He is horrible. He has never lost clean. Ever. Him as a champion is bullshit. 14 times, whatever you want to say. Bullshit. CM Punk, when he had the title for the 434 days, he wasn't in the main event. Cena was. Because during that time, it was the John Laurinaitis thing. Could have had Punk against Laurinaitis, seeing as he practically did a shoot, on TV, calling out Vince. It would have made sense for him and Laurinaitis to go back and forth, but no, John Cena had the main event it. Yeah, John Cena had the main event it. The only reason Punk was in a main event when he had the title for that long was against Cena. So fuck John Cena. And then after the match, Randy leaves to the crowd so he doesn't have to go through the Wyatts. The Wyatts come to the ring and destroy Cena and hit him with the Sister Abigail, which I can guarantee you right now is going to set up the John Cena and Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatt family. So John Cena can suck some life out of the crowd with Daniel Bryan. Please like me, like The Rock said in his promo. Please like me. I do Make-A-Wish. I support the troops. I have so much merchandise. Fuck that. It's human shield. Human shields that, if the WWE wanted to, could put anyone in his position. Anybody. And he'd do the same thing. Especially with the merchandise. Cena's got at least 7 new shirts. in the last 6 months, for Christ's sakes, and Daniel Bryan probably has 2. And they have a fucking goat on them. A goat. As a man, I am not wearing a shirt with a fucking goat on it. I want a shirt that just says I am a wrestler with, a picture of Daniel Bryan or, him jumping through the air, not as a goat. Something, respectable that I would wear in public. Not a fucking goat, a flying goat. It's fucking stupid. Give him some real merchandise and he would sell just as much as Cena would. So then we get the Royal Rumble match. Punk comes out 1, Seth Rollins comes out 2. 2 of the better workers. They've both been in ROH. Both did great in ROH. Seth Rollins, I can see turning face sooner than later. Probably after WrestleMania or a little before. Depending on what they do with Roman Reigns in the Shield. Because then I know he'll go face. Because he's over. Dean Ambrose is going to be forgotten for a while. The U.S. title doesn't mean shit anymore. He hasn't defended it in fucking a year. So we get them going at it for a little bit. And I didn't write down who came out when or who got eliminated when and all that crap. Some high points. Kofi Kingston, saving himself from elimination twice, both in creative ways. The first one, Alexander Rusev, NXT guy. He was eliminated, and someone wanted to throw Kofi over. Rusev caught him, and he was by the entrance, and he put him on the barricade and gave him a couple knees to the ribs, and Kofi barely made it, but he went from the barricade and he ran on the barricade to the ring apron, made it, barely, so he saved himself there. The other time he saved himself was he was going with Jack Swagger. Swagger threw him over. He took off Swagger's boot and was holding himself up by his toes on the bottom rope, hanging backwards, and Swagger came to get him. Kofi hit him with his boot and pulled him over. Swagger got eliminated. And Kofi stayed in again before getting eliminated by Roman Reigns, who also eliminated 11 more people, setting the record for most eliminated in a match, replacing Kane's 11 with his 12. Corporate Kane was in the Royal Rumble. Got eliminated by Punk before he eliminated anybody. However, Kim came back at the end there was 4 left and eliminated Punk to a lot of the fans' dismay. Got a lot of boos. During the Royal Rumble, there were Daniel Bryan chants. Another thing that happened, they added on to the Goldust Cody Rhodes storyline for them facing at Mania with Goldust eliminating Cody. And I noticed Michael Cole and JBL bringing up that in the last 2 Rumbles, Cody Rhodes had eliminated Goldust, which led me to believe Goldust was going to eliminate Cody, and that's how it happened. And then Goldust got eliminated right after that. Roman Reigns, absolute beast. His spear on Dolph Ziggler sold it like a genius. That was probably, oh my gosh, Ziggler could have hurt himself by could have gave himself some whiplash. His head snapped. It was beautiful looking. I bet it was painful as hell for Ziggler though, especially coming right off a concussion. Man, save yourself. The pop for Dolph when he came out was huge. when he got eliminated, it was a loud boo. Roman Reigns eliminated Antonio Cesaro, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins all at the same time, which pushes the split of the Shield even farther. That should be coming up pretty soon, if not, before Elimination Chamber, if they put Roman in it, which a long shot that they do, but they might. So we get down to the final three because CM Punk got eliminated by Kane after Kane came and interfered, and we get Sheamus, Batista, and Roman Reigns. And at this point, I'm going, I hope Roman Reigns wins. Because after number 30, Rey Mysterio came out to one of the loudest boos of the night. Yeah, everybody was pissed because Daniel Bryan wasn't going to be in it. And I feel bad for Rey because, WWE fucked him over by making him be the last one and not Daniel Bryan coming in. And Rey got eliminated soon thereafter and got even more boos. And with Daniel Bryan not being in there, Roman Reigns is, the guy everybody latched to and pretty much had to cheer for because nobody wants Batista to win. There was a chant when Sheamus was going for his bro kick. Excuse me. He was going bro, bro, bro on his chest, and the crowd was going no, no, no. I thought that was pretty creative. So then we get Roman Reigns eliminating Sheamus for the 12th person that he eliminates. At this point, I'm going, fuck, Batista's going to win. It's going to happen. And Roman Reigns goes for a flying Superman punch, and Batista botches a spear. I'm sure he injured Roman Reigns, at least bruised a rib or something, because it was botched so bad. It looked like he tried driving his head through his stomach. It was that bad. So, second thing Batista's botched in the last week. On Monday, he botched the spinebuster, probably because of those damn skinny jeans that no guy should ever wear. He botched the spinebuster with Del Rio on Monday, and now he botched a fucking spear. And then Roman Reigns hits him with a great spear, like most of them. And then Roman goes to throw him out. Batista reverses, throws Roman out, and the crowd, another very loud boo. Batista points at the WrestleMania sign. The fireworks go off. You can hear the boos over the fireworks. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter about Batista, mocking the yes chants and flipping off some fans. So much for not being heel with your movie coming out. A lot of people thought he was going to stay face. I'm sure that was the plan, to keep him face because of his movie, but when you do that to the crowd, you're not making too many friends, and you're going to be forced to be a heel. Maybe in the writing you'll be, booked as a face, but to the crowd, to us, you are now a heel. Wasted numbers on the Royal Rumble. Kevin Nash won. Horrible idea. He was in for 2 minutes maybe. El Torito. It was nice to see him eliminate Fandango, so we didn't have to put up with him. The look on Punk's face when Torito came in was probably everybody's face. Like, what the fuck is he doing in here? Couple drop kick or a couple Hurricane Ranas, a couple springboards, and Thank God he got eliminated right away. The Great Khali was in for 2 seconds. That was a wasted number. JBL was in it. JBL character was in for the first time. Fuck Michael Cole for breaking kayfabe. JBL's been in the Royal plenty of times. Yes, JBL, the character, hasn't, but Mr. Bradshaw has been plenty of times. So fuck Michael Cole for saying that. And I know a lot of people think that too. If you caught it, I know a lot of people who are like, fuck, don't break kayfabe, fuck you, Michael Cole. Other people, if you didn't catch it, now you know. That was a wasted number. He got eliminated right away. Just like it was practically a recycled Jerry Lawler storyline in the Royal Rumble. I think it was 98, I believe. 97 Royal Rumble, where Jerry Lawler got in and Bret Hart eliminated him right away. That's exactly what happened with JBL. Roman Reigns eliminated him right away. It was pointless. Those were the surprise entrants. I mean, Sheamus came back, which everybody knew. Rumors were he could have came back sooner, but didn't want to and waited. Being Triple H's workout buddy, as those, doesn't surprise me that he was able to wait. I know if a lot like CM Punk wanted to wait, he would have been, probably pushed down to lower card like Dolph Ziggler is. But other than that, like, you could take all those guys out and replace Daniel Bryan with any one of them, and it would have made the pay-per-view a whole lot better. I'm sure they could have, been in the back, and after hearing the crowd during their World Heavyweight Championship match, could have rewrote it a little bit, took somebody out and put Bryan in, and, at least had him in it, and, if anything, have him get screwed at the end. I don't know, have him get screwed at the end and, set up something, rather than have him not in there at all. And it's horrible. Because Daniel Bryan's not a fucking bodybuilder, 6'2", 280 pounds, like Vince McMahon wants you to be. To me, Daniel Bryan, I can relate to Daniel Bryan. I know a lot of his fans are people who relate to him. And that's why Cena doesn't have as many male fans. Because nobody can relate to that shit. He's not an athlete. He's an upper body bodybuilder. He runs like a fucking idiot. Cena is a idiot. Cena's just a fucking idiot. Fuck Cena. People relate to Daniel Bryan, and that's why they cheer for him. People relate to CM Punk, that's why they cheer for him. Relatability is huge. No one relates to John Cena, because nobody can be Super Cena. No one is that good. But the WWE still wants to shove them down our throats. Fuck John Cena. I know I'm not the only one who was pissed at this pay-per-view. I've been on Twitter most of the night, looking at old wrestlers. Mick Foley, huge disappointment. He's so pissed off at this pay-per-view. He tweeted a couple of things about, not caring about us fans. He had a huge post on Facebook about wanting to throw a brick through his TV, which he said he wouldn't do because his wife rules the house and she wants a TV yet, and the kids were in the house. so he's waiting till tomorrow to do it. Hopefully he's not anywhere near here because it's supposed to be minus 20 wind chill, minus 30 wind chill. So he's going to be breaking a TV with the brick tomorrow. He is pretty much buried the WWE after tonight. Rikishi posted something about the WWE writers blowing it with the Uso twins, his kids. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the guy who was on their pre-show, said, Bray and Bryan had the best match of the night, and everything after was crap. Mick Foley's son went on a rampage about how bad it was that Bryan wasn't in the Royal Rumble. The Rock and Austin complimented Roman Reigns. I think Austin said something about, Bryan and Bray having the best match. Everything after was, shit, for lack of better terms. And I'm sure there's going to be more to come. I'm sure, there's people who taped it and are going to watch it tomorrow before Raw. Old wrestlers, Bret Hart. I've heard a few people mention his name, and I'm sure he's not happy with it. I'm sure a lot of people aren't happy with it. I know I'm not. And I've watched a couple other reviews before this, and they're not happy either. Tomorrow we'll probably get, I don't know, you really can't have a rematch, I guess, like you do in every other, show after a pay-per-view. You have 4 rematches of the night before. You'll see John Cena try and leech off of the Daniel Bryan, chants with the Wyatt family. I gotta see if Brock Lesnar comes out and actually challenges Randy Orton. We have 3-4 weeks till Elimination Chamber, where you need 6 guys in that match. My guess is at this point, you get Randy Orton for sure. I'm sure Batista's going to be in there. Punk. That's 3. If they put Daniel Bryan in there, it'll be a shocker, but that'll be 4. Kane might be put in there for CM Punk, which we know Punk's not going to win because I'm sure he'll go against Triple H at Mania. So you get Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Punk, Kane, maybe Roman Reigns, maybe Bryan, because Batista won't be in there because he's at the main event. Cena hopefully won't be in there because, nobody wants to fucking see Cena in there. Unless you go the route of, Orton, Punk, Batista, or Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, and Bray Wyatt, and have those 6 in there. I don't know how that would work out. Having the 3, it's more going to end up a tag match with John Cena and Daniel Bryan against the Wyatt family. And people, a couple of people added into the Elimination Chamber with nobody giving a shit. And if they're setting up a Randy Orton Batista, main event at WrestleMania, I hope the New Orleans crowd is 10 times worse than the Pittsburgh crowd was tonight. And I hope they blow the roof off with Daniel Bryan chants. I hope they yell boring, you fucked up chants. That was also heard tonight. I heard that. We want refunds. That'd be a huge one. Shit, this was just horrible. Just horrible. Oh my god. I'm speechless to how horrible this pay-per-view and WWE's in general. I want wrestling, storylines and all that shit. Yeah, you kind of need it, but not to the point where you are ignoring the fans. We want Daniel Bryan. in the main event. Not the first match, not the mid card, not the low card. We want him in the main event without having it involved with Cena. Put Cena in the mid card. Let his fans, the few, the kids that he has, put him in the mid card and let him cheer from there. Because I can guarantee you there are more fans like me who don't want him in the main event. And don't you think that's what the WWE should do? Give us what we want, and we're happy. And don't call us, internet marks. I don't know anything because I'm an internet mark. I get it. So Mick Foley's an internet mark too, because he's only talking online. He's not talking in person. Well, Pittsburgh just shoved that idea straight up your ass. And Vince, whether you liked it or not, something going up your ass, whether you liked it or not, Pittsburgh buried the WWE and your WWE Heavyweight Championship match tonight. In fact, they buried everything after that Brock Lesnar Big Show segment. Everything. So, fuck the WWE, fuck Triple H, fuck John Cena, fuck Vince McMahon for not giving us what we want. Go Daniel Bryan, give Ziggler a push, put Daniel Bryan in the main event for the championship. That's all we're asking. And sooner or later, you're going to have to, because the chants won't stop. They won't stop. You tried turning him heel, that didn't work. Turn him back face, he gets louder chants. He will always get chants. Put him in the main event. That's all we ask. Give him a decent title run. It doesn't have to, break records or anything. Just keep Cena out of it. Fuck Cena. He's won it 14 times. 14 times. We've had to see the boring motherfucker win the title. I'm sure he'll break Ric Flair's record. And then they're gonna, title him the best wrestler in the world. The best wrestler ever. And my prediction, I'm sure he'll fucking beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania and end the streak. And if he does that, I'm done with WWE. If he beats The Undertaker at WrestleMania, I will never watch the WWE ever again. And I know I'm not the only one who says that. And, it doesn't bother me if The Undertaker's streak gets broken. But if it gets broken by John Cena, I'm done. And I'm sure it won't happen this year because he's going to do something with Hogan and, have two biggest guys ever in the WWE. Bullshit. Together. Whatever. I hope wrestlers keep burying the WWE in the Royal Rumble. All the way up until tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow, Monday Night Raw will be better. I'm not going to cross my fingers. I'm not going to promise anything. Because we're going to get a John Cena promo about saving Daniel Bryan, probably. And helping him get past the Wyatts. Because Cena's the good guy. He's going to save Daniel Bryan. Because Daniel Bryan can't do it by himself. Fuck Cena. I don't know. But tomorrow is, Monday is going to be a rough day. Rough night. I don't want to watch it. And I've watched every Raw for the last fucking how many years. And I can, I honestly sit there and go, what else is on TV? Maybe I'll flip back and forth. Like, back in the day, I didn't have to do that. Nowadays, I do, and it sucks. I should be able to sit there for 2 hours, not 3. 3 is just too long, too much time filler bullshit. Give me a 2-hour show full of wrestling, a little bit of storyline, and no Cena, and I'll be the happiest guy in the world. The happiest. But no, we get a 3-hour show with a bunch of time-filling bullshit and promos by people we don't want to see. Daniel Bryan will get 10 minutes of airtime out of 3 hours, where about an hour and 15 minutes is commercial. Yeah, that's what I want to see. It's exactly what I want to see. Go back to 2 hours. Or advertise the first hour as PG and the last 2 hours is TV 14. I'll fuck the first hour. Fuck the first hour if it was PG. Fuck this PG shit. And fuck you, Batista, for coming back after saying you hate this PG shit. And you just became part of the PG shit. So fuck Batista and big fuck John Cena. And fuck the WWE for not giving Daniel Bryan and 98% of his fan base what we want. That's all I gotta say about that. If I had to rate the pay-per-view, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. And that's no disrespect. If it was, if Daniel Bryan's match and Brock Lesnar's match were the whole pay-per-view, I'd probably give it a 9. Just because I'm sure Brock and Big Show were supposed to have a longer match, but injuries happen, whatever. But Cena and Orton for the 18th time, the Royal Rumble had some good spots, but without Daniel Bryan, pathetic. I'd give it, I give the Cena Orton match, the match itself, a 0. The crowd, 10. Flat 10. The crowd, amazing. Thank you, Pittsburgh. All hail Pittsburgh, Sunday night during the Royal Rumble. All hail Pittsburgh. I'll bump my rating up to a 3 because of the crowd. But that's about it. Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, and the crowd. And if you want to throw the pre-match in there, fine, 3.5. Because the pre-match, it was good. Other than that, fuck this shit. I'm sick of it. It's the same thing. I could have been in a coma for 10 years, woken up today, and I would have felt like it was the same thing. Nothing's changed. Nothing. New guys. Same thing happens. They get buried by Cena. Bray Wyatt's next. So, we'll see what happens. But as for now, fuck this shit. And fuck John Cena.